Hello everyone. In this lecture series, we are going to see communication theory. The first unit of the communication theory is amplitude modulation. Under this, we are going to study what is communication and its classifications and the basic block diagram of any communication system, and later on the purpose of modulation. We'll see all these things in this lecture. First we'll see what is communication. Communication is process of establishing the connection between the transmitter and the receiver. Using this connection, we can transmit the information from the source to destination. Okay. Basically, the communication is divided into two types. One is analog communication and then another one is digital communication. In this lecture series, we are going to focus on the analog communication alone. Here you will see the basic classification of any communication system, that is divided into two types. One is analog communication system and another one is digital communication system. So we are focusing on the analog communication system alone. Again, it is divided into two types. One is continuous wave modulation, another one is pulse modulation. What is meant by continuous wave modulation means, in this kind of modulation, the signals which is going to be the input signal for any modulation, that is message signal and one another is carrier signal. Okay, these are the two inputs to the modulator, and these two signals are continuous time signals in the case of continuous wave modulation. Okay. Here we have three different types of modulation. One is amplitude modulation, another one is frequency modulation, that is FM, and third one is phase modulation, PM. These two is together known as angle modulation. Okay. And the next one is pulse modulation. In this pulse modulation, one of the input message signal is continuous time signal, but the another input carrier signal is discrete time signal. Okay. Again, it has three methods. One is pulse amplitude modulation, PAM, and another one is pulse width modulation, PWM. Next one is pulse position modulation, PPM. In digital communication, both signals are in digital manner. Okay. Under this, we have three types: PCM, DM, and ADM. Okay. So this is what the basic block diagram of any communication system. Here you can see first block of the system is information source. So the source only will generate the information, okay, which is going to be transmitted to the receiver. Here you can see the source will generate the message. The message could be any text data, sound signals, pictures, or some voice data. Okay, this is what will be generated from the sources. Then these sources are non-electrical signals. So before going to any kind of electrical process, first this non-electrical signal is converted into electrical signal. This will be done by using input transducer. So input transducer will convert non-electrical signal into electrical signal. And the next one is transmitter. So this transmitter will transmit our message signal to the receiver. Before transmitting, this transmitter will modulate our message signal so that we can transmit to the long distance receivers. Okay. Next one is channel. Through this medium, we can send our message modulated signal to the receiver. While transmitting signals through the channel, the noise will affect our transmitted signal. Okay. And at the receiver side, the receiver will receive the transmitted signal and recover the original message signal from the received signal, and thereafter it is in the received signal, it is in electrical form. Then at the last step is output transducer is going to convert this electrical signal into non-electrical signal so that we can read or hear the signals. Okay, if it is voice signal, at the end there is a speaker, through that we can hear the voice. Okay, if it is some text, we can see using a monitor. Okay, we can see the text or pictures using a monitor. Okay, the communication system mainly consists of 3 units. One is transmitter block, and the next one is channel, and the third one is receiver. So source, first block of the communication system is source. Source generates the information. So this information signals is known as baseband signal. So baseband means the signal is unmodulated original signal. Okay, so the baseband meaning that the source generated signal is unmodulated original signal from the source. Okay, so basically it is low frequency signal. Okay, and examples for this sources are text data, speech signals, pictures. Next one is input transducer. So we know that input transducer will convert non-electrical signals into electrical signals. Examples are microphone and camera. And next one is transmitter or modulator. So we know that our message signal is very low frequency signal which cannot travel to such long distance to the receiver. Okay, so what we need to do that we need to increase the signal strength so that it can reach the long distance receiver. This will be done by using a modulator. So modulator will convert this low frequency signal into high frequency signal so that high frequency signal can travel such long distance and will reach the receiver. Okay, this can be done at the transmitter side. And next, here you can see a block diagram of modulator. There are 2 inputs to the modulator. One is our message signal. Okay, that is from the transducer to the modulator. Another one is carrier signal. Here we know that our message signal is low frequency signal, cannot travel long distance. Okay, therefore this low frequency signal is carried by a signal which is having very high frequency. So this high frequency signal will carry our message signal to the long distance. This process is known as modulation. This will be done by the modulator unit. Okay, in the modulator unit, some parameters of this carrier is varied according to our message signal so that this carrier can carry our message signals. Okay, then this modulated signal is transmitted using antennas or some physical wires. Okay. Here you can see the input signal. Input signal is our message signal, that is low frequency signal, whereas output from the modulator is an high frequency signal. So once it will become high frequency, it can travel to very long distance also. And next part of the communication system is channel. Communication channel is the transmission medium through which we can transmit our signal to the receiver. Okay, there are 2 types of channels. One is wired communication, next one is wireless communication channel. In wired communication channel, there is a physical connection between the transmitter and the receiver. Okay, examples are optical fibers, waveguides, coaxial cables. Next one is wireless communication channel. In this type of communication, there is no physical connection between the transmitter and the receiver. So our message signal is transmitted through the free space. Okay, by using any type of antenna. And examples for this wireless communication is satellite communication and the radio communication. And next, the crucial portion of any communication is noise and distortion. Okay, because these 2 are unwanted matters will affect our message signal. Okay, first we will see noise. So noise is a random and unwanted signal. It may be any other signal, okay, which will get added to our transmitted message signal in the channel, and this noise will reach the receiver along with our message signal. Okay, And next one is distortion. While the signal is traveling through the channel, due to some surrounding parameters, the signal information shape will changing. Okay, this will alter the information present in the signal, which leads to useless communication, because here the information get altered means there is no useful communication will occur. Next one is the receiver. The third part of the communication system is receiver. The receiver, the main function of the receiver is to reproduce the original message signal from the received signal. Okay, the received signal may be noise affected signal or distorted signal. From that signal, the receiver should reproduce or recover the original message signal which is originally transmitted from the source. Okay, this is the main duty of the any receiver. Okay, so there are three important characteristics of the receiver. First one is sensitivity. So sensitivity means it is the ability of the receiver to receive the signal, receive the transmitted signal even though that signal is very weak. Okay, this is known as sensitivity. Next one is selectivity. So it is the ability of the receiver to select the desired frequency. Okay, actually if we are transmitting 500 kilohertz frequency signal, then the receiver should select that 500 kilohertz frequency alone. This is the ability of the receiver, so known as selectivity. Okay, next is fidelity. So fidelity is nothing but the ability of the receiver to reproduce the replica of the originally transmitted signal. Okay, so this is known as fidelity of the receiver. Next one is at the last we have the output transducer will convert our electrical signals into non-electrical signals such as voice or text data. Okay, examples are television speakers. So next we will see what is frequency, what is wavelength, and what is the relationship between these two things. So let us see first what is frequency. Frequency is number of cycles per second. This is known as frequency. Here you can see one cycle means one positive half cycle, the one positive half cycle and one negative half cycle together known as one complete cycle. So likewise n number of cycles per second is known as frequency. The next one is wavelength. Length of one cycle, that is from here to reaching one positive and one negative and one complete cycle. The length of one complete cycle is known as wavelength. So that is usually measured in meters. Okay, now we'll see the relationship between the frequency and wavelength. Wavelength is denoted as lambda, that is equal to speed of the light by the frequency. So this gives the wavelength, that is lambda is equal to c by f. Here you can see wavelength and frequency are inversely proportional to each other. If frequency is increasing, wavelength get decreased. If frequency is decreasing, then wavelength get increased. The images are taken from the below websites. Thank you all.